Look at your screen time right now. Go to your settings, look at the daily average and be completely honest with yourself. 5 hours, 7 hours, maybe even 9. You are currently living through the most critical window of your entire life. These few years will literally dictate how the next 40 years of your existence are going to look. It's the time where your brain is the most adaptable, where you have the most free time and where the consequences of your mistakes are the lowest they will ever be. If you look around at our generation, what are the most teenagers actually doing with this golden window? They are vaporizing it. They are spending their afternoons scrolling through short form videos that they forget 3 seconds later. They are playing video games just to watch a digital level bar go up, while their real life stats stay at 0. They are chasing the approval of people in high school who they won't even remember 5 years from now. We all want to be successful. We all want the financial freedom, the aesthetic physique, the high value relationships and the peace of mind. But nobody wants to admit that the foundation for all of that has to be built right now, in the dark, while everyone else is sleeping. If you don't learn how to use your teenage years usefully, you are setting yourself up for a massive wake-up call in your 20s. And trust me, that is a crash you want to avoid. Let's start with the biggest trap that teenagers fall into: the illusion of the school system. Go to school, get good grades, listen to your teachers. Go to a good university and everything will magically fix itself. You're conditioned to believe that if you just follow the rules, society will reward you with a happy, wealthy life. But if you look at the real world in 2026, you know that the blueprint is completely broken. School does not teach you how to think, it teaches you how to memorize and repeat. It doesn't teach you how the money works, how taxes work, or how to build a business, or how to manage your mental health. It evaluates everyone by the same rigid standard. If you're a fish being judged by your ability to climb a tree, you're going to spend your whole teenage years thinking you're stupid. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to drop out of high school tomorrow and start screaming about the Matrix. That's foolish. You need to pass your classes, but you need to realize that school is just the baseline. It's the bare minimum. If your entire identity and all of your efforts are contained within the walls of your classroom, you are losing the game. The real education happens after 3 p.m. It happens in the hours when nobody is watching you. While your classmates are coming home, opening Discord and complaining about their homework, that is your window to start learning the skills that actually matter in the modern world. Stop treating high school like it's the main event of your life. It's just a side quest. The main event is who you are becoming outside of it. When you are a teenager, you think you are poor because you look at your bank account and see 20 euros. You feel limited because you can't buy the things you want or go to the places you want to go. But you are actually sitting on a mountain of wealth. You just don't know it because you don't understand the most valuable currencies in existence: time and energy. Think about your parents or the adults you know. They might have more money than you, but they are constantly exhausted. They have a mortgage to pay, a boss to answer to, a family to feed, and the bills that pile up every single month. Their mental bandwidth is completely occupied by survival. They cannot just decide to spend 5 hours a day learning a new skill because they don't have the luxury of time. You do. Right now your rent is paid, your food is bought, your responsibilities are incredibly low. If you spend 4 hours a day studying, coding, video editing, copywriting or digital marketing, nobody is going to starve. If you start a business and completely fails, you don't go homeless. You just go downstairs and eat dinner with your parents. This is the only time in your life where you have maximum energy and minimum risk. Every single hour you spend doom scrolling is you throwing away that currency. You are literally selling the most valuable asset you will ever own to a social media algorithm for zero return. Imagine if someone offered you $10,000 to just sit on a chair and stare at the blank wall for 5 hours. You'd think they were crazy. But you are doing exactly that for free every single day by giving your attention to TikTok and Instagram. Start treating your time like it has a price tag attached to it, because it does. If you want to use your youth usefully, the absolute lowest hanging fruit is your health and your body. Your teenage years are literally a biological cheat code. Your testosterone levels are skyrocketing, and your body recovers faster than it ever will again. Building muscle and getting into peak physical shape right now is 5 times easier than it will be when you're 30. Yet look at how the average teenager treats their body. They fuel themselves with energy, drinks, fast food and processed sugar. They sleep 5 hours a night because they are staring at a blue light screen until the early morning. They're completely disconnected from their physical form. When you start lifting weights, running or practicing a martial art, something shifts in your brain. It's not even about looking good in a mirror, although that's a nice bonus, it's about discipline. The gym is the ultimate antidote to this instant gratification culture we live in. In the modern world, you can get dopamine in 2 seconds. You swipe up, you get a laugh, you order food, it arrives at your door. But you cannot swipe up to get a six-pack. You cannot download a muscular physique. You have to go into a room, lift heavy pieces of metal, sweat, hurt and do it consistently for months before you even see a tiny bit of progress. That process teaches your brain that anything valuable in life requires delayed gratification. It teaches you to love the boring, repetitive work. If you can build discipline to go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week when you don't feel like it, that discipline will spill over into everything else you do. It will make you a better student, a better entrepreneur and a stronger human being. Do not waste the peak biological years of your life just sitting on a couch. So, if you aren't supposed to just focus on school and you shouldn't waste your time on video games, what should you actually do with those free hours? You need to enter the skill acquisition phase. Your teenage years should not be about trying to make millions of euros immediately. If you focus purely on money, you will fall for scams, get rich quick schemes and crypto pumps that will just drain your energy. Instead, focus on building high income skills. A high income skill is something that the modern economy desperately needs, but the average person doesn't know how to do. Can you write words that convince people to buy things? Can you take a raw footage and turn it into a high retention video? Can you build websites or write a clean code? Can you speak clearly, articulate an idea and convince someone to trust you? These skills are universal assets. Once you learn them, nobody can ever take them away from you. Even if the entire economy crashes, a person who knows how to sell or how to create digital value will always find a way to make money. Pick one skill, just one. Do not try to learn 5 things at the same time because you will get overwhelmed and quit. Pick one thing that genuinely interests you and dedicate just 1 hour a day to it. Read books, watch free tutorials on YouTube, practice it on your own project. 1 hour a day for a year is 365 hours of focused practice. By the time you turn 19, you will be better at that skill than 99% of the population. You will have a monetization tool ready to go before your peers have even finished their first university semester. There is an old saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. When you are 18, this is an absolute law. In high school, we don't really choose our friends based on values or ambition. We choose them based on proximity. We become friends with the guy who sits next to us in math class, or the guy who plays the same video game. And that's fine for childhood. But as you grow older, you need to realize that some of your friends are anchoring you to mediocrity. If your circle of friends consists of people whose only goal are to get high on weekends, complain about their teachers and talk about girls they will never even meet, they are dragging you down into the swamp with them. It is incredibly difficult to build a successful life when your environment is toxic. Every time you try to level up, every time you skip a party to work on your skill, or every time you go to the gym instead of playing video games, they will make fun of you. They will call you cringe. They will tell you that you are taking life too seriously. They don't do this because they hate you. They do it because your self-improvement acts as a mirror to their own laziness. Seeing you succeed forces them to realize that they are wasting their own lives, and that makes them uncomfortable. So, they try to pull you back down to their level, so everyone can be comfortably average together. You need to ruthlessly protect your circle. You don't need to have 50 acquaintances. You need 2 or 3 brothers who share the same vision as you. People who look you in the eyes and tell you when you are being lazy. People who push you to do better, who celebrate your wins and who are working just as hard in their own lives. If you can't find those people in your high school, look online, look in Discord communities, look at local sports clubs. And if you still can't find them, it is 1,000 times better to walk alone for a year than to walk with people who are going nowhere. The final thing you need to master during your teenage years is your relationship with failure. Our generation has been completely paralyzed by a fear of making mistakes. Because of social media, we are terrified of looking stupid. We see everyone else's highlight reels, their perfect skin, their wealth, their happy moments, and we feel like our own mistakes are fatal flaws. We think that if we try something and fail it, means we are a failure. But failure is the only way you actually learn anything. Think about how you learned to ride a bike. You didn't read a textbook about gravity and balance. You got on a bike, you fell off it, hurt your brain, adjusted the calculations, and you tried again. You had to fail multiple times before your neural pathways figured out how to stay upright. Your teenage years are the perfect laboratory for failure. As I said before, the stakes are virtually zero. If you start a clothing brand at 17 and it goes completely bankrupt, you haven't ruined your credit score. You haven't ruined your family's future. You've just learned an invaluable lesson about supply chains, marketing, and customer service. You've earned a real-world business degree before your 21st birthday. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start. Stop waiting until you know enough. You will never know enough until you actually get your hands dirty. Be willing to be bad at something. Be willing to make mistakes. Be willing to be the guy who tries and fails, rather than the guy who sits on the sidelines, critiques everyone else, and does absolutely nothing with his life. Time is the only asset that you can never buy back. Right now, as you watch this video, the clock is ticking. You will never be 16 again. You will never be 18 again. This window of absolute freedom, high energy, and low responsibility is shrinking every single day. You don't need to become a millionaire by tomorrow morning. You don't need to put an insane amount of pressure on your shoulders until you lose your mind. But you do need to wake up. You need to stop drifting through your youth like it's a dress rehearsal. This is the real game. Use these years to build your body. Use them to acquire skills. Use them to find your focus and protect your mind from the digital garbage that is destroying our generation. When you look back at your teenage years, 10 years from now, make sure you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I didn't waste it. I built the man I am today. Drop the distractions. Get to work. Thanks for watching, brothers. I'll see you in the next one.